Hey everybody, what's good? I'm back with another conversation with creators, and today I have Steven. What's good, Steven?
How's it going? I'm good. I'm good. Nice to meet
Hey,
y'all.
yeah, good, good. Thanks for coming on today, bro.
Oh, anytime. I appreciate you inviting me onto the show.
Great, great. So, just to get this started off, how about you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your comic book company?
Okay, cool. My name is Steven Hicks. I am the owner of MWS Studios. It's actually not a comic book company, it's a multimedia publisher. So I publish and develop my own things in multiple medium forms and also distribute as well.
Okay.
I've been in business for 6 years now.
Mm, 6 years. Cool, cool. So, what do you do besides comic books?
In general, I brand. Initially, I started off as I'm a graphic designer. I have a graphic design background, so I have about 10 years in. I worked freelance, and I also worked corporate. Most of my skills came from the corporate side, where I work for Raymond Designs, Control Alt Designs, uh, the Tennessee Lottery, and a small family company called Wallace and Wallace. And I was there with them mostly for about 6 years strong before I started doing my own thing. And during that whole process, I worked on brands for other companies. So that kind of gave me an advantage on what I want to do once I got, I guess, settled into what I was doing. Initially, I kind of got tired of doing the same mundane thing, and I wanted a little bit more freedom when you do meetings, talking to people, trying to get things involved. And I felt like my creativity was in a box.
Right.
So I decided to do my own thing after learning how to market, how to sell a product, how to design certain things in a professional way. I decided to do it for myself.
Okay.
And the first product that I actually came up with was a comic book. So that's what I do on that level.
Okay, so how did that come about? How did being in the graphic design and doing that and marketing, how did that end up to you doing a comic book?
Okay, so graphic design in general, I went to school for that. I got a degree in it and everything like that. So I just used that schooling, my schooling background, as a playground to like test my skills, going from logos, web design, package design, and just learning how to do commercial art in general because I was fascinated by it.
Mhm.
But the other thing about it was I wanted to learn the business side, and that's what led me down the path that I was on now. I wanted to take my creative abilities and try to expand them in my own way. And I was always drawing and doodling anyway. And then that's what kind of cultivated the, I guess, character aspects, trying different characters and stuff like that. And I was just drawing on different things left and right. So it just expanded on into the graphic design process. Um, as far as what got me into the comic book thing was I was seeing different things on screen, different shows, movies, you name it, and I was like, man, with all these characters, um, even movies, and I wanted to see what can I do? How can I put my own stamp onto things? I kept seeing the same thing over and over, like Marvel, DC, even with manga too, and I never really seen anything that was unique in its own way. So I decided to do my own thing and challenge myself, like create a character. My first character was actually a male character. His name is Sneakers McGee, but I didn't put him out right away. I actually waited. My first character that my second character is now the first character that's officially been published, which is Hadori, aka Rashida Foley, and that's how I put her out. You probably seen this book before.
Mm.
um, Smiley worked on that, helped me develop that, and now I'm like 7 books in.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, could you talk a little bit about Micro Wars?
Yeah, so Micro Wars is a series of short stories about young teenagers with abilities. These abilities are microchips that are embedded into their necks or inanimate objects, which allow them to create their own abilities, whether there's a subsection where there are already pre-programmed abilities in it, or they have a section where they can create their own. If
Mm,
they go down this route, whatever they create is permanent. And that's pretty much the story in a nutshell. But what it's really about is about choices, like cause and effect. You want to go down this route, it's going to come with some consequences,
mm,
and vice versa. And that's where the whole micro war stem come into play, because a war is coming with the microchips. That's obvious, but it's the little things in between and before that happens, and that's what makes it such a story. I have three main characters. It's all one story, but each character has their own story to tell before they come together to give that final grand telling. And right now, I'm starting with Rashida Foley, and she's the only one out of the group that wants to be a hero,
mm.
but she has no clue on how to be one. Just because you put on a mask and a costume doesn't make you a hero. So she has to go through trials and tribulations and trying to figure that out. Like, just because you have powers doesn't mean you can help someone. And it's going to be certain situations where just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Like, she has this impulsive thing to where she wants to help somebody. It becomes detriment to her. Like, you know how people back home be like, oh, we need help. You go help. And then there's going to be a situation where they're not going to ask you for help and you're going to do it anyway. And that's gonna come a issue like, oh, did I ask you for help? Like, attitude type situation. You got to deal with that. That's just something she has to grow into and develop, like using her powers. Um, how will that affect not only her but the people around her?
Right.
And then learning how to develop them and things of that nature, and just dealing with life as a teenager.
Okay. Okay. And you said this is up to 7 issues.
Right now, yeah, I have 7 issues. So
Oh.
this is the so what I did was when I first got started, I started at 28 years old. I'm 33 now.
Mhm,
So I started at one book, and this is the book that you see. The other two are behind here,
mhm,
and so I ran that for the first. So I've been in the business 6 years. So for the first 4 years, I had those three books, and that was just getting my idea out, trying to stretch it out. And then what I did was, I think about 2 years or so ago, I revamped the entire series. I finally figured out what I want to do and how I want to tell it. And like I said, there's a mini series of books about these characters. And I finally figured it out. And now I have this. Give me a second. So now I broke them down. It's a funny story how I did this. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So how I got to this process was, well, this size, they're a lot smaller. They're for kids for the most part, so they can have it in their hands. I was thinking about people who don't read, and I also noticed that families try to get their child to read but don't read. And I figured, like, if you put it in a more entertaining way and it's like feasible in their hands, they'll want to read it. And come to
right.
find out, I was actually right. But how I got to this specific format and size was actually because of my brother. Uh, I'm gonna get a little bit intimate with you for a second. So my
Go
brother,
ahead, do you
he's
think?
he's actually in jail. So when I got started, we were writing letters back and forth. So every time I written something, I would send him a panel, like a page of a book
Okay.
that I was working on, and I sent it to the mail. And then when my original books got mailed off, I was sending them one by one, one by one. I was like, all right, cool, cool. We got something going. But then they kept sending them back. I'm like, why they keep sending my books back? I didn't understand. Because they didn't accept anything from the outside. Basically, it has to go through a certain process. They had to check it in and everything like that. So they just wasn't accepting my original books.
Right.
So what I did was I got kind of sly with it. I was like, all right, bet. They stopped. He was getting the pages. That was cool. He wasn't getting the books. So I figured something else. So I changed my format to a smaller size. And they're small enough to where you can put inside you remember the gift cards you get at Walmart?
Yes.
they're that small. So I just slide them in there, put them in a gift card, and send them that way. So I've been doing that for years, just sending them back and forth, telling me what do you think, and that's how that came up with this format, the manga style format, and I just been running with it ever since. And it's pretty cool. Like you put them in your pocket, you can hang them on your wall, frame them pretty nicely. So it was a nice little thing that I was doing with my brother. But I actually like the format in general. So every time I do a short story, I will keep it in this format
Mm.
going forward until I do like a ultimate edition. Then I just put them all in one book, and people can like have.
That's actually pretty dope concept. And you
Yeah,
say people are enjoying it reading in that way?
yeah, they actually are. I've been to a lot of events. I sold a lot of books. I went to a lot of creative meetups, and they just love the idea of how small they are. And it's like, oh, this is pretty cool. They'll sit down and just read it. I'm like, wait, I thought you was gonna read it later. I didn't know you was gonna read it right now. They just pulled it out, so I thought that was pretty interesting.
Hey, that's dope. That's dope. So how in you've been able to get to issue number 7, which is a dope accomplishment. How
Yeah.
have you been able, what has helped you succeed to get to issue number 7?
Well, I changed my idea and way of looking at things a little bit. It was like for me, I guess the best word to say is, you know how you do something one time to get you started? It's the hardest thing ever, right?
Right?
But as you keep doing it, it becomes easier because
Oh,
the process haven't changed. So what I did was I just took what I did from the first book and applied it to the second one. And I kept going and I kept going. So it just went from one step to the next, and then I just kept modifying it to where it was easier for me to do. Um, yeah, that was pretty much the process for me. And then what really helped was that my stories is just one story anyway. I just chopped it up. So it's each issue is continue on to the next, and it follow on nicely with small details to keep you engaged. It's not a lot, it's just enough to get you involved and really get your attention. And I think that's how most comics are supposed to be anyway. Do enough to get your attention to want them to get more and more into it. You don't want to oversaturate it or overdo it to where they're not. I guess most people have short attention spans anyway, but you don't want to do so much acting to where they don't want to read it. Just do enough to where it's entertaining, not like it's a lecture or something like that. And then that's pretty much my process.
okay. Okay. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I like that. And you also said so you've been to a couple cons and sold at cons. How's that gone for you?
I've been to a total of 12 cons.
Okay.
Most of them have been out of state. I live in Florida now.
Hmm.
I haven't been to any in Florida at all. I plan to, but mostly the ones that I've been out of state, I've traveled multiple places like California. I've been to Atlanta. I've been to Tennessee. Um, I've been out of the country twice. Let's see, where else have I been? Uh, San Diego. Yeah, I think it was San Diego. Yeah, San Diego. I've been to a lot of places doing cons, so it was pretty nice to do. Selling tables, it gave me some experience on meeting people, getting that one-on-one experience. Um, People like it when you're just engaging with them, so
Right.
that was fun. And then I like answering questions that people have. Is very intimate, and once you get that one-on-one attention to them, it's a whole different world. Especially you're talking about your story, you're uh, engaging with the customer, and sometimes it just you'll get a sale based off just conversation with them. So I thought that was pretty neat too. You don't even have to hard sell. They'll just look at it like, oh, that looks cool. What is this about? And then they're basically selling themselves on something, and you just piggyback off what they're asking.
Right.
So it's been an experience for me, and I absolutely love them. Um, Cons are a great thing, and I think everybody should do them. You don't have to; they're not mandatory, but it's good to do them and get involved with people.
Right. Right. So with going to cons, what are some things you've learned about going to them? Like, what are some things that you need to prepare for and do when you go to cons?
I would say when you go to cons, since I've been to so many, um, only bring the things that you need when it comes to setups. don't, you don't have to go all out. Just keep yourself organized, keep your things professional. Make sure you have minimum items. Bring minimum items. So say you have what your first book, right? I wouldn't bring no more between 25 to 50 books. 25 minimum, 50 max, because it's your first con. You don't want to overload your table. And I'm just speaking to beginners here. What you don't want to do is overload your table and you're not as confident enough to where you can sell it. Bring the bare minimum. And then once you start there, engaging with people, look people in the eye, answer all their questions effectively, engage with that customer. What you want to do is be open, like kind of like an open book. Just be transparent. I mean, just have a one-on-one a conversation like we're doing right now.
Mhm.
Like we're having a conversation like I'm right next to you, but in reality, we're not. Like, and
Yeah,
that's how it should
be on
be.
Zoom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how it should be. Just be yourself. Talk about your book. No one can tell you about your book but you. It's your book. You made it. So talk about it and just keep it simple. Other than that, I mean, that's the best thing you can do when it comes to cons. Like once you're done selling and everything like that. But outside of that, you want to enjoy yourself too. So make sure you have some time to go out, take some pictures, become fans of other creators, have fun, have some mementos. Like once you're done doing the hard work, go have some time to play and stuff like that. Because I did that a lot. Like
So what's your favorite con you've been to?
my favorite con that I've been to, I have two actually. It was the Los Angeles con. That was nice. Um, and MomoCon. MomoCon was nice.
What's Momo
Uh,
con?
MomoCon is a big con in Atlanta, Georgia. I met the creator of Black Sands there. I met the creator of Static Shock there. Um, it's huge. They have tournaments, they have food, they have a lot of people there. They have concerts, they have contests for best cosplay. It's a whole vibe, man. It's a whole vibe, and I guarantee
It's
you're gonna
fun.
have fun. It's every summer around May ish, and you're guaranteed to have a good time. I'd say if it's your first time, you can get a day pass just to fill it out. But honestly, you probably want to get that weekend pass because it's
Right.
so much to do. It's so much to do.
So this I might have checked it out. This joint sound fun.
Oh yeah, man! I got some pictures on my page, man. I was chatting it up with Mr. Udahara, Raptar, and all those folks, man. It's a whole vibe.
Yeah,
Give me a second. Give me a second.
yeah, do that.
I'm back. I'm back. Had to charge up my laptop, but
Oh,
it's a whole vibe, man. You should check that out. I would tell anybody to do your local cons because
mhm,
they're closer to home. The more you do them outside of home, the more expensive that they get. So if
right.
you're not in that state, just prepare to pay some money. Oh, that's another rule. After you're done selling your stuff, have a set aside budget that you want to spend for the con. Like you, just because you sell it doesn't mean you can't enjoy it too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I always have some set aside of the money for you. I bought me t-shirts, I bought food, I had eel. I went to a con last year, I think it was Japanese con. Yeah, it was Japanese con. I spent $20 to get in, and then I just went to town on buying stuff left and right. I had eel, I had bought some shirts. I played multiple games, took plenty of pictures, met up with friends, dressed up, tried some martial arts. There was all types of stuff going on in there, and I had a field day.
So when you go to these cons, you said you could like walk around and enjoy yourself. Do while you're selling, do you also talk to other comic book creators that are there at the
Yeah,
cons?
yeah, yeah. I get real up and close and personal. Like I like to be engaged with other people. It's
Yeah,
like, yeah, we're all doing the same thing, but I'm gonna enjoy myself at the end of the day. And it's like I'm more interested in what you got going on, and that's it's funny that you say that. That's how I got in contact with one of your books because me and Smiley were working on books, and I've
mhm.
come to find out I have one of your books.
Oh, true. That's
Facts.
yeah.
So it was like this right here.
Oh, King's Domain. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we be swapping books in the mail, so we be shipping them out. And he gave me one of your books when I had funded him on his projects. I got his books too.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah,
Those
yeah.
fire. Smiley joints is dope.
Yeah, yeah, and I help him out with his story. So I'm actually working on a story with him right now that I'm going over. Don't worry, Smiley. I'm still taking my time with it. You sent me a lot, so that's for you. I'm gonna get back to you, bro. I know you watching. Um, but yeah, we swap stories and share stuff all the time, so that's not really an issue. But yeah, I tell people like enjoy yourself. Yes, you're a business person or you're a seller, whatever you want to call yourself during that time. But when you're done with that table, go enjoy yourself.
Hmm.
Please go enjoy yourself. That's what you're there for. That's what you paid your money for.
Facts. So what has your experience been like with other creators? Like, I know you said you have a good relationship with Smiley. What about other creators? How has your relationship with them been?
Yeah. Oh, they're strong, man. They still talk to them. I do business with them pretty much on every other product that I come up with. I have a card game I got going on now. Well, it's actually done. I just haven't released it yet.
Mm,
That was solely on me, but I did ask someone to help me structure it a little bit, um, just to give me some pointers. I go to different other cons. They have a con for everything. They got cons for
yeah,
games. They got
we do.
I go to tournaments as well. So I met other gaming creators there at those cons. I'll go play some Tekken, play some Street Fighter or whatever, and chop it up while I'm beating up on people. But that's no here or there. So it's like I try to keep it casual. It's like this is not a hard thing to do. I try to keep it casual, keep it open minded. But when it's time for business, I really get down to it. Like, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. I'm willing to do X, Y, Z. Let's come together type situation and go for it.
Okay. I like that. I like that. So I want to keep this more about like some of your experiences, being a comic book creator. So what are some
Okay.
highs and lows as a comic book creator?
Highs. The highs that I have is first things first. I'm enjoying the journey 100%. It's not about the destination, it's the journey. And I have to explain that to people as
Oh,
much as
Kobe.
possible.
Kobe said that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I respect Kobe. I'm not a Kobe fan. Never was and never will. But I respect Kobe to the core because his love for the game, his passion, and he just enjoyed every moment of it. Me, I'm the same way, but it's like with my creativity, I do what I do because of freedom. One word. I enjoy my freedom. I do what I do because I can, and I encourage people to do the same thing. Like enjoy your freedom. Do the things that you want to do. Don't do the things that someone else is doing. Do the things that you want to do. Focus on your imagination, focus on your ideas. And that's the high of it. Because once you get that idea out, it's like you got to keep going. You got to keep going. I was like, man, you did that? Yeah, I did that. I sold that. I did this. And it's like, first thing I did, I put it in the frame.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was like, man, I did that. That's wild. And it's just a high. And it really is a high. Now the lows is that everything that I've done up to this point, I funded myself.
Mhm.
So it's a lot of hard work behind the scenes that people don't see. And I don't what's the word? I don't broadcast everything that I do either. Just know that it's getting done. And it's I don't know if people want to see that. I'm just not that type of person to share it anyway. I just put it out there, work hard, do what I got to do, and try to put it out. And that's pretty much on the low side for the most part. And I don't mind doing it either. It's something that I got used to. Like um, I think a part of that is that most people now, even with myself, I think some people like looking for a popularity.
Mhm.
It's like they want to be popular. It's not a popularity contest. I had to think about that. It's the low part of it. It's the mindset that you have. Like it's you have to develop a sturdy mindset because if it's low, you're gonna be in this low spot forever. And if you don't change it, then you're gonna stay there. And that's like that low side of just being a comic book creator or creator.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's like you have to change your mindset. Now I had it a few times, but I changed my mind. It's like, hey, I gotta get out of this funk type thing. I'm gonna do things my way, and that's where the whole freedom aspect come in. It's like I got the freedom to do what I want when I want because I own it. And now I'm 7 books in.
7 books.
Yeah, I was 7 books in. I not only I have 7 books in, I have a card game that's about to get a release. I made a novel, an activity book. Um, what else did I do? Posters. And then Smiley actually did some projects for me myself. He gave me a poster and he did a sticker for me too. So like that's wild. And I'm getting ready to co-write on one of his stories. So I'm a co-writer now.
Hey, that's
So
what's good.
you never know what you're gonna do once you change your mindset, regardless of highs or lows. You never know what you're gonna do. You just have to focus on the things that you want to do and be nice to other people, meaning help other people.
Facts.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. So I like that. I like those. I like that a lot. So these interviews are basically for creators
Mm,
to come out and tell about their experience and talk about their comic books and things. But it's also to help like young
yeah.
creators coming up and doing it too. And I
Yeah.
like that you gave your experiences and how you got to 7 books because 7 books is tough. 7 books is tough. It's a lot of time and hard work that you got to
Yeah.
put into that. So, and
Yeah.
also you had said, behind the scenes, us as content creators, we got to put in a whole bunch of hard work. And
Hmm.
so I say all this to ask you, like, what are some of the things when you jumped into doing comics that that you didn't think you were going to have to do, or some of the things that you didn't think would be as hard when you jumped into comics?
Okay, I would say I had a little bit of advantage, but it's something I still have to practice every day.
Hmm.
Um, I would say practice business fundamentals because just focus on that only. Business 101, business fundamentals. You have to learn how to sell yourself. If you can't sell yourself, you can't sell a product. If you can't sell a product, you can't sell yourself. Um, that is a big thing. Presentation, learning to speak in front of people. You have to learn on that. I learned that by doing a lot of graphic design and being in meetings in front of old people. Like you have to, yes, you can create these things, but can you sell me on this product that you created? Um, Even now, I'm selling you now on these books, and you're invested in it already, and that's just come from years of practice. I'm not saying you're going to get it right away, but every day is a chance to perfect it. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Try friends, try family, try complete strangers, whatever it is, because these are invaluable skills when you decide to sell your book, um, or any product of that matter that you want to create. You're an artist. So whatever idea or concept that you come up with, you have to learn how to, one, know your product, two, uh, get it out to the people, which is marketing. And the best way to do that is talk to someone. You have to talk about your product, talk about yourself. So that's the main thing. When it comes to business, one on one mainly is in business is really simple. You either got a product or a service. It's easier to sell something if you have a product in hand. Hey, here's my issue of Micro Wars number 7. You interested in reading it type thing, and I can break it down. Right now, I'm selling you on this product, and it's like it's easier to do that because they see it, they can feel it, and they'll make their decision if they want to buy it or not. And that's just the basic of business fundamentals. And I'm not a salesman. I don't know if you heard any tales or anything. I'm not a salesman. It's just I think the better term is like I'm a hustler. I'm just a go getter.
Right.
Um, but I also know how to sell things. I don't consider myself a salesman. I just enjoy. I have that passion about certain things about it. Like even though I can sell anything according to Smiley, but that's the thing is like I have the confidence, I have the passion to talk to someone about this, and that's what I encourage other people to have the confidence, do your basic business one-on-ones, and I encourage you to get that confidence to talk to people. It's really that simple. um and honestly, that alone will take you far, whether you're selling a comic book or not.
Just being able confidence to talk to people,
Yeah.
just tell the story and sell yourself.
Yeah. I was telling Smiley the same thing. Like when he did his first table, I was like, "Hey, man, like you work hard on this. You deserve the opportunity to go talk to someone about it. Go do that." And he set up a table. He sold some books, and like he was happy. I don't know if he sold out of everything, but he did sell a book. So it's just having that experience, and it takes a lot of work to do that. It takes a lot of courage to do that.
Right.
My first table that I had, I was in LA. I was in LA. I went from Atlanta, Georgia to Los Angeles, and I sold in a bookstore. Hanging out with some friends at the studio, went to the comic book store, like, hey, I have my own book, and I set up a table and I sold that entire weekend. And I did sell out that day. I took a duffel bag full of comics and I sold out that weekend.
That's tough. That must have been a great experience, especially being your first table.
Yeah, it was. It was just me. Just I gave myself a little boost because I was talking to people. My buddy had a YouTube channel. It's called Jody's Corner, and he put out the word out too. And he set me up with the comic book store. So I don't know if it was him selling, telling people about it, or was it just me just having the confidence to take that book, that one book that I had, with all those copies in that duffel bag, and just selling it. So I don't know. But I enjoyed the experience. I enjoyed talking to the people. I met a lot of people, a lot of celebrities as well. So in that whole process,
That's what's up. Hey, congratulations to you, bro. That's dope.
yeah,
That's being for your first con.
and I appreciate that too. That was just it was crazy because when I did that, I knew I could keep doing it. Like
Mhm.
after I did it the first time, like, you know what, I can do it again. Take the money that I made, got some more copies, and I just did it again and just kept doing it. I even got a car off of it.
You sound like a drug dealer.
I guess you could say it. Honestly, the format is no different. It's
Yeah,
really no different. They have a product, you sell it, Ross Spencer repeat. You just changing the product. You gotta be a people person. And no, I did not sell drugs. So
right.
I'm just a people person, man. It's really no different. Literally, I even got a scale over there too. I'm mad. Real talk, I got a scale over there. Real talk.
That's
Put
good.
it up.
But yeah, so I really only have one more question for you. But before we start this interview, you said you had questions for me. So this is a conversation. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
talk.
yeah, yeah. Let's talk. Let's talk. So, I read your book, bro.
Mhm.
I enjoyed the book. I was impressed with the art style.
Okay. Yeah.
The art style is very impressed. I like the way the story was going. So my main question is, what's the deal with these rhinos? Because my man's come out of nowhere talking about, he's saving the rhinos, and you give high top dollar for these rhino horns. So in the book, they never disclose what they're doing with these rhino horns. It's just the fact that he took the rhinos to a safe place, and we didn't hear anything else about the rhino horns. So I'm like, why are these rhino horns so valuable in this first issue?
So, well, I'll give you a spoiler. That's actually coming up. I'm actually working on the second issue right now. So, in
Yeah,
the second issue, you find out that Gore, the man that he goes up against, the villain that he goes up against, he's a scientist too. He's not just a poacher, but he's a scientist. And he's been using, like rhino horns. As
mm-hmm.
he's found something in rhino horns that he can use as a steroid to, make himself and his people stronger. Like if you
Yep,
look in the comic, they're literally carrying a huge cage full of rhinos.
yeah, I did see that.
Right. So like you can tell that they're stronger than your average human. I didn't want to say it off jump because in the second issue you learn that, but I kind of wanted to like imply it in the comic.
Understood.
So that's
Understood.
why you see like them carrying stuff, then like they're super strong and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And also also to just give you a little interesting fact, the way I came up with that is because like you ever go to like the gas station and you see like those like rhino sex pills.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so like that's kind of how I got the idea.
He on this animal kingdom
Right.
strong.
So
Just gotta
like
get it right.
yeah, so like basically not for like him to like use it as like that's why they make the joke in the comic that you said like Americans use it for their erectile dysfunction, but
Yeah,
he but basically he found something in rhino horns that so he's not just poaching them just to poach them, he's using them for something. And he found like something within the rhino horns that he can use as a steroid to pump up him and his people.
Okay. So they can use it like kind of like a weapon.
Like a super soldier type of thing.
Serum. Okay.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
cool. That's pretty cool. So my next question is, do you got more books? Because it's the only one that I got.
So
Um,
I do. I actually have uh two books right now available. And
yeah.
then once I'm still fulfilling the last Kickstarter that we just had, I'm waiting on shipment of books to come to me.
Oh,
And then once I get those books, I can ship them out to everybody, and then I'll have extras to put on the website and sell out to everybody. So
okay,
by the end of
cool.
the year, I'll have four comics available on my website.
Well, definitely let me know. I'll definitely grab another copy of the book. If you could sign it, that would be great. Once I put the order in,
Oh,
so
definitely,
that'd
definitely.
be solid. I'm gonna probably read this one more time, and then I'm gonna hang it up like with my other ones. So I just be putting them in frames. When I'm done, I'm gonna try to put like a wall of comics that I collected at
Oh,
some
for real?
point.
Yo, I had that same idea,
Yeah,
like doing that for like all the indies. Like I was thinking
yeah.
about like putting them. I seen something on like was it like I can't remember. I think I saw it on Twitter. Somebody had like I think they did it for like posters, but you can still do it for comics. And like
Yeah.
you basically had like a big thing that had like different sections
Hmm.
comics up. And bruh, that was tough. Like I
Yeah.
definitely wanted to do something like that.
Yeah. I'm working on that now. I got like 75. No, I got 80. I got 80 indie books right now. It's not a lot, but it's enough to
That's a
put a
lot.
wall.
That's a lot. That's 80 indie books. That's a good amount, bro, to get to be in the comics and indie books, especially since we're seeing a real boom with indie books now.
Well,
But to have
yeah.
80 already, like that's pretty tough, bro.
Yeah, and I got those coming from the 12 cons that I got, and then I bought some online and stuff like that. So it's like I'm just buying them up because I really do support. Believe it or not, there's a lot of black comic books out there, black comic
A
creators.
lot.
It's over. If anything, if best is kind of like oversaturated, but a lot of people say like, oh, it's not in the mainstream. Like they're like, what are the black comic creators? They're there. You're just not paying attention to them. They are out there.
Yeah, I say that all the time, bro. Like people look to the big two, and then
Yeah.
that's kind of how really I got into the comic scene
Hmm.
like the indie comic scene. I started wanting to read more black heroes, and DC and Marvel kind of
Yeah.
they be iffy with us. You feel me? So I went to like searching indies, and then
Yeah.
it kind of gave me the inspiration to make my own comics and stuff.
Because you can actually look them up. I actually you can go to like different like pop-ups. I do more than just cons though. Like I said, I'm a hustler, so I'm always out doing something. I'm in grocery stores, I'm in libraries, I'm in comic book stores. So I'm out. I do the things that this is why I say I'm a hustler, not a salesman, because I'm doing the things that you're not willing to do.
Right.
And that's where I fit in. And that's how I just move around. Organically, I have about 4,800 fans, I think, organically, and it's just coming based off webtoon sales, social media, just all combined, and that's organic. And I haven't did any pay into marketing. That's just me getting out, going to different events, talking to people, stuff. Um, and I'm still surprised by that to this day. That's not a lot, but that's pretty impressive for a one man show. I'm like, oh, okay. If I wanted to quit right now, I can just stop, but I don't want to because my story's unfinished. um, it's just getting out, meeting people, and networking, doing events and stuff like that. That's the greatest thing you can do. It really is. Um, because you'd be surprised who you run into. You never know. Like you right now, I would have never known who you are or who person had this book if it wasn't for Smiley. And that was just me networking. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's what's up. I didn't know it was you this entire time. And I also didn't know your name was Malcolm either. So I was like, wow. So I know two Malcolms now.
Right. Yeah, me and Smiley be tripping off that.
Yeah, he's like, Steve, that's Malcolm. I'm like, nah, you Malcolm. What are you talking about? No, his name Malcolm too. I'm like, oh yeah, I did not know that. And then the crazy part is I don't read this thing. Your name is right here too.
Facts. It's on
Look,
the
look, see y'all. That's why reading is important, y'all. Real talk. You gotta read,
reading is fundamental. Reading is
man.
fundamental.
That
Definitely.
is fundamental, man. And it's like I was gonna say, my next question. Do you plan on doing any collabs with other creators?
Uh, so
If
yeah,
you haven't already.
me and Smiley are actually Smiley out here collab with everybody. So me
Yeah,
and
it's true.
Smiley are actually writing a comic together as we speak.
Yep.
It's actually I'm actually holding it up right now because it's my turn to write a certain part, but I'm busy writing this other story that I gotta get out my head. Like I gotta get it out my head. So, but me
Respect.
and Smiley are collaborating right now,
Yeah.
and also in the works. I collaborated with this other comic book company called Subway Comics, and
Mm,
I wrote a story for them. It was their idea that they gave me ideas how to go with the story, and I wrote the story for them. And they had their changes and everything, and basically co-wrote this story called The Polar Bear that's going to be coming out hopefully in this year, next year, whenever they
mm,
release it. I believe they're getting the artists and everything for it now, but that was actually a pretty dope experience to do, like just to write for another creator, which is actually pretty fun. It might be a little bit more fun than write your own stories because like we be so perfectionist with our own stuff, and it's kind of
mm,
fun to just take somebody else's story and like
mm,
just have fun with it and go with it. And then for them to like the story that I came up with for it. It was their story, but I went along with their guidelines, but they liked it, so that was pretty dope.
mm, mm. That's pretty awesome. I do have a question. I have a rule that I abide by.
Mhm.
My rule is that no one's bigger than a project.
Mm.
I was gonna say, as a creator, do you have a rule?
My biggest rule, my biggest rule as a creator, especially now, is to write the comics that I want to see, or write the
Yep.
comics that I want to read. I heard another creator, I believe it was Tyler from Godhood Comics, the creator of Godhood Comics, where he said, yeah, it was
Yeah.
him. He said, write the comics that you want to see. And that's one of the main reasons I started writing my own stories because I felt like these stories, there's things that happen in comics that I was just like, I wish they did more of this or more of that. So my main rule is just write the story that you want to see.
I agree. I agree with that. I like that rule, which is actually true. Believe it or not, these indie creators, they're way better than the big two. Way better. Like they're just wash, rinse, repeat out here. And they're just doing whatever. And I tell people there's no rules to this. No rules at all.
Mhm.
Um, Outside of structure and format, that's it. Like how to structure one and format it properly. But telling a story, I can't tell you how to tell your story. It's your story. Tell
Right,
your story.
right, fact,
so, so like put that work in, tell it. I mean, work with her where you gotta work it because it is a team sport. If you can do it all, do it all. But I don't recommend it because you're gonna burn yourself out. Um,
facts.
Working with a team um is the best thing you can do. I started off drawing the stuff myself. Um, But then I started to get into the business side of things, and I had to put the drawing down and learn how to do the business.
Mhm.
And that's why I'm still in it as long as I am now. In writing, when it came to writing, I was just writing notes, but it took me meeting Smiley to learn how to structure writing script. And now I write all of these.
Right.
I write all of these now. It's like he don't turn me into a monster. So that's shout out to Smiley on that one. Yeah, it's just you got to learn from other people, be nice to other people, and don't you're always learning. You're always learning, 100%. Learn from other people, and know that if you're the smartest person in the room, just go into another room. I guarantee you, there's someone smarter than you. I guarantee you.
So, bro, as a comic book creator, what are you working on right now?
Right now, I'm actually working on these patents because I told you in the beginning I just finished off my game. So I'm
Mhm.
working on trademarks, copyrights, and patents for the game. So
For the trading card game.
yeah, so if you don't know what those are, A copyright is something, it protects it on a low level,
Mhm.
but the trademark will protect it universally. And then you have a patent, which the design of the card game, how it looks, it patents that. So there's three-stage levels that I have to do with my company to protect something that I created. Because if I don't protect it, someone is more likely to take it or steal it.
Right.
Just that simple. And even if they do, I have proof where it was protected, and I can basically take them to court.
Right.
So like even with this logo here that you have, even with yours, I don't even know if you did it or not. But if you did, you get its trademark?
Oh, my logo?
Yeah,
I didn't do it myself. I had somebody do it for me.
yeah, yeah. If you should get a trademark because every time you do a put a book out, it's protected.
Right.
Even when you get your ISBN number, is protected. So you have proof that everything that you put out as a company, that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
I believe my wife calls me safety man for a reason. I believe in protection. Like I'm always safety first. So whenever I do something, I gotta have it protected. Both logos, the intellectual property and the company. I only made the company protect my assets, which are the things that I create. So every time MWS Studios put out something, it's tied to microwords, 100%.
Right.
So I tell anybody, like, if you got an idea, protect your idea. Um, and that's another thing you have to learn. Uh, Business 101. Protect yourself. And I don't think most creatives talk about the business side. I don't think they talk about the protection guidelines to creating stuff. You don't want to create something and be like, oh, that's my idea, but did you go through the proper channels to protect it? It only costs $50 to get a copyright,
Mm.
and you can do that online. And you can copyright up to 10 items at once on one application. So there's kind of like no excuse why you shouldn't be able to copyright something. You have some form of protection. So I believe in ownership 100%, and I believe in protection.
Cool. And you probably got that, from your background with marketing and branding.
Yeah, and just being on the streets. I ain't gonna lie
Right.
about it. Yeah, just being on the street. I got to keep it 100. I got to. I got to. But protection is key. Like ownership is important. Like as a people, we have to learn how to own things and stop. What's the word? Hey, you're a pretty smart guy. Throw some numbers at you. Uh, 90% of African Americans are consumer based. All they do is buy things, right? If take that power, right? We put all our money together, we can buy a state together. Just imagine that.
Right.
So that's what I'm looking at here. I'm like, wait, we have this consumer power. We can buy whatever we want. Why won't we just use that same power to make the things that we want?
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
Which I
so,
think is the reason why a lot of us are in this, in this space, with
mm,
certain things that we want. Because I think, especially we talked about, especially as being Black creators,
mm,
we're seeing that, we're not going to get the things we want unless we do them ourselves. Like
exactly.
we're not going to see these characters, in shine, let these characters shine
Mm,
unless we do them ourselves, which is
right.
kind of a beautiful thing because I mean, for me as a fan, like seeing all these Black indie creators, bro, like
Mm,
it's stories about everything. People got
mm,
superhero stories, people got mythology, people got I
mm,
think anthologies, horror. Like it's a wide range of stuff now, especially if you go to indies that you can read by Black creators.
mm. And they're out there. It's like I said, people say, "Oh, where's that? Where's that?" But are you really looking? Like
Right.
they're right there in front of your face. But are you really looking? Like I went to a creators meetup like 2 weeks ago, and this guy he I forgot his name, but he asked me some questions like, "You really in the comics? You got like 7 books?" He's like, "Yeah." So you really doing it? So you know a lot of creators. I'm like, "Yeah." I'm just naming people back to back. All the people that I named, he never knew. They were all indie creators. It's like,
Mm.
oh, I didn't know these people. Who are these? I'm like, these are indie creators, and I'm just naming them. But he was just naming people like Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, all these other guys. I'm like, look, there are other creators besides these old heads. Like they've been done up. They're done. They're done for. Stan Lee is dead.
Right.
like, like we gotta support the new generations of creators. Like these guys need to be known. And I'm not saying that to be egotistical or something like that. I'm just being realistic. I'm like there are
Right.
other creators out here, so you should give them a shot. Just because they're not popular doesn't mean their story's not good.
Exactly.
Like they turned
Exactly.
comics into a popularity contest, and it's not. That's not what it is. It's about to comics is about expressing yourself, telling the story that you want to tell, and it's the most easiest thing to get into because all you have to do is make a comic.
Mm.
That's it.
And you in it.
That that exactly. Long as you, I tell people if you want to work with me, make a product. The moment you make that product, you can work with me. It can be a comic, it can be a game, it can be whatever, but it has to come from you. That's the only way you're gonna work with me. And sometimes I have some leniency. If you got a strong idea but have no idea on how to do it, I can help you. I can help you form it up, but you have to put in that work
Right.
because it's your idea at the end of the day. I can't do your work for you. Then if that's the case, you might as well just pay me.
Right.
And then when I'm done, I still want my 15%.
Right.
That's just me doing business. But I encourage anybody to do their own thing and have that ownership because no one can tell you what to do when you own
Mm.
it. Going back to the first thing I said at the beginning of this is freedom.
Oh, exactly.
Freedom. I have the freedom to do whatever I want because I own it. It's just that simple.
I like that. I can do whatever I want because I own it. I like that. I like that a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
This is my last and final question I have for you. So it's one of my favorite questions I ask to every creator. If you could give either yourself starting out or just somebody random that's starting out, what is one big bit of advice that you would give them?
All right. So I got a two-parter for myself.
Okay, I love the two-parter. Let's do it.
I started at 28.
Hmm.
If I knew what this journey was going to bring for me, I would have started way sooner.
I feel the same.
I was like, man, I started at 28. I'm 33 now, and I did a lot. And I'm like, I can only imagine what I did if I was younger. You know what I mean? Just really, I would have written my story out younger and then produced it later, if that makes sense. Write the story. That's for my younger self. Because everything I already had the skills, I already had the marketing things and everything like that. I already had everything in front of me. I would have just done this a whole lot sooner. Um, and for the second part, for a new beginner, um, I actually have a lot of advice.
Go
For a
ahead. I
beginner,
like it.
all right. So this is what I would do. Um, as a beginner, if you have an idea, uh, make notes, write your story. You can't do anything without a story or an idea. So do that first. That is the most important thing. I swear to God, if you skip this step, you will have a hard time. So I'm telling you this now. Write your story. I don't care if it's on note cards, sticky notes, on your phone. I don't care. Write your story because it's your story. And then find what format you want to put your story in. It can be a comic book, it can be animation, it can be a video essay, it can be whatever, slideshows. Just take that story and try to put it in a format that works for you. Um, but if you want to stick to comics, I advise you. This is something that I created. I've written a novel about it, but I didn't release it. This is just my advice. I want you to take the one shot challenge. I don't know if you can put this up or not, but it's something I created and you'll see it again. The one shot challenge is where you, for an hour, you'll write whatever comes to mind, whatever idea, whatever story it is, and just write it out for an hour, right? Whatever that idea. And then you will make a character, an object, or whatever it is based off that. And then you just create a whole concept behind it. So you have actually it's in reverse. You make the character first, then you take the character and write a story about that character, and then you put it in whatever format after that.
Mhm.
You can be a book, it can be a video essay, YouTube, whatever. But my whole point of me saying this is to cultivate the imagination of the individual. Imagination is key. And you need your story and you need imagination. Those are the main things. And then focus on that. And then after that, then I would say focus on building your confidence up, which will lead to the business 101. Learn how to do presentations, talk to people, look at them in the eye. I would say take as many notes as possible. If you don't know someone, know anything, ask questions. If you don't know something, ask for help. Um, what's another one? I think that's for the general stuff. And as far as skill set is concerned, you don't need drawing to tell a story, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like you can either do if you want to learn, there's some go to Skillshare, you can go to school, you can I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, practice every day. No. I'll tell anybody, create the things that you want to create because it's your idea. So focus on that. You can hire someone, you can learn these skills yourself. There's YouTube University for crying out loud. And there's a whole network of creators out here. So someone's going to be out there to help you. And then when it comes down to business, just keep it simple. You either got a product or a service. That's it. Um, Contracts is king. Um, have a contract, like saying that what you're going to do something, because you got to keep yourself accountable. So my steps will be make a contract between if you're working with someone, hey, this is what I want to do, this is the time frame, this is how I want to do it, and payment. How payment will work, you get half up front and half when the job is finished to keep it clean. That'll keep not only you accountable, it'll keep the person that you're working with accountable because everyone wants to get paid, right? You want a product, you want to make some money, and the person that you're working with wants to get paid. Keep it very simple. Um, and then the last thing I would say, be kind to others. Like I keep bringing that up, but it's true. Be kind to others and work well with other creators. It's not be open to work. It's not about you. Sometimes you can get ideas by helping other people. So yeah, yeah. I think I just dropped a bunch of gems on some people.
Hey, that's what this is for. That's literally what this is for. So I love
Yeah.
it. That's dope, bro. Like I said, that was my last question. I want to thank you for coming on to this interview. It's this was a really dope interview. All these interviews have been dope, and it's kind of dope since I had an interview with Smiley, and he
Mm,
actually mentioned you in his interview.
yeah.
So that's actually dope. So it's kind of like going full circle.
Oh, that's
So
pretty cool. I'm glad to be on the channel, be on the show. Yeah, I did see that he did mention me. I was like, oh wow, I read it. Like he did a great interview, even though he was nervous, but he did a great
yeah.
interview. Yeah, he did a great job. And
So
I actually enjoy your interviews as well. You did a. I'm impressed.
hey, thank you, bro. Thank you. It's really, it's just like I said before, it's just gonna be a conversation between us. So it make it easy, just having a conversation with me. So
Yeah.
that's pretty dope. But before we get out here, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to, tell the people to go
Uh,
look at?
yeah. Check out the Webtoons. It's on Webtoons. Just type in Micro Wars. You can see all books for free. If you want a physical copy, you can just contact me. Website is down at the moment because I'm updating it. So you can just contact me through social media. Um, IG, Instagram is MWS Studios 33. Facebook is just Micro Wars. Um, Facebook, Instagram. Honestly, that's really it. I don't really. TikTok.
Mm.
Yeah, MWS Studio. Sorry, I just created it. I only had it for like a month. So yeah, I mostly been on Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, TikTok is MWS Studios 33. You guys can reach out. Um, oh yeah, and join the YouTube. I got created a YouTube channel. So same thing, Micro Wars. I'm getting ready to upload content. Mostly I just put up interviews that I've done and commercials. So that's pretty much it for now until I actually come up with some content that I want to use.
Okay. That's what's up. That's good. So once again, bro, thank you for coming on. This has been another dope interview, and thank everybody that's watching these interviews, and we'll continue to have conversations with creators. I just want to thank everybody for watching, and we out.